Self-esteem and self-acceptance. If you constantly feel like you're not enough no matter how hard you try, this is not because you're broken. It's because you were taught to measure your worth by performance, not by your humanity. And today, I want to talk about the quiet damage this does to your self-esteem. Take a moment and ask yourself honestly, how do you treat yourself when no one is watching? Not when you are praised, not when everything is going well, but when you are tired, when something doesn't work out, when you make a mistake. This is where self-esteem truly shows itself. Many people believe that low self-esteem means not loving yourself, but in reality it is often about not allowing yourself to be who you really are. Not allowing yourself to be imperfect, to be in progress, to be human. Self-esteem is not about thinking you are better than others, and it is not about constant self-admiration. It is about a quiet inner sense that says, I am allowed to exist as I am. I am worthy without conditions. Most of us grew up in a system of conditional value. We were praised when we were convenient, when we tried harder, when we met expectations. And very few of us were taught a simple truth: your worth does not disappear when you make mistakes, when you feel lost, when you are exhausted, or when you don't have the answers. Over time, this becomes an inner voice that constantly whispers, not enough, try harder, you could do better. Slowly, life turns into a constant effort to prove your value. You begin to prove yourself through work, through relationships, through achievements, through being strong, responsible, and reliable. From the outside, you may look confident and put together, but inside there is constant tension. Because if you are only valuable when you perform, when are you allowed to simply rest, to slow down, to just be? Self-acceptance does not mean that you like everything about yourself. That is a myth. Self-acceptance means that you do not abandon yourself when things get difficult. It means staying on your own side even when you struggle, even when you feel overwhelmed, even when you feel vulnerable. Many people believe that first they must become more confident, more successful, or more accomplished, and only then they will deserve respect and self-worth. But the human mind works the other way around. First comes acceptance, then inner stability, and only after that does true confidence begin to grow. Self-esteem is not destroyed by other people's criticism. It is destroyed when you begin to speak to yourself with harshness, when you minimize your own efforts, when you constantly compare yourself to others without knowing their full story, and when you expect perfection from yourself while offering compassion to everyone else. Ask yourself this: would you speak to a close friend the way you speak to yourself? Would you judge someone you love as harshly as you judge yourself? If not, why do you allow yourself to be the exception? People with low self-esteem often do not appear weak. In fact, they often appear strong, dependable, and capable. They are the ones others rely on. They hold everything together. But this strength is often built on fear. The fear of not being enough. The fear of disappointing others. The fear of losing love or approval. And when life is built on fear, it becomes less about living and more about surviving. Self-acceptance begins with honesty. With allowing yourself to admit that you are tired, that you don't know, that you feel overwhelmed, that you need support. This is not weakness. This is self-connection. When you stop fighting yourself, a sense of inner calm begins to appear. When you stop proving your worth, a quieter, deeper confidence takes its place. When you stop comparing yourself to others, you begin to move at your own natural rhythm. There is one important truth everyone needs to hear, especially those who are used to being strong. You do not have to be perfect to deserve respect. You do not have to be strong all the time. You do not have to meet someone else's expectations to be worthy. Your value does not disappear when you fail. It does not depend on results. It does not shrink because you rest, pause, or doubt yourself. Self-esteem is not about who you will become someday. It is about how you treat yourself today. And if you are listening to this and feel that these words resonate with you, it means your mind is already searching for safety and support. And that support is not outside of you. It is built within, through self-respect, through self-acceptance, and through allowing yourself to be fully human. Fire. Video 7 of 3. There is a phase that looks nothing like abuse. No anger. No blame. Only vulnerability. A message arrives saying they are struggling. That life is heavy. That you are the only one who understands. And if you've been conditioned to care at your own expense, this is where your strength is tested the most. Because real pain can exist without pure intentions. Someone can suffer and still use that suffering to pull you back. The question is never whether their pain is real. The question is why it appears precisely when you are finally calm, stable, and rebuilding your life. This is emotional engineering. Crisis becomes a key. Guilt becomes the door. And empathy becomes the rope that pulls you back inside. Not physically at first. Emotionally. A reply. A late-night thought. A check on their profile. And slowly, your nervous system re-enters a familiar cage. Here is what I had to learn. Help that destroys you is not help. Presence forced by guilt is self-betrayal. And love that only appears when you are whole was never love. It was access. You are not responsible for rescuing someone at the cost of your peace. Freedom requires something radical. Consistency. Not strength once. Strength every day. The choice not to respond. The choice not to explain. The choice to trust what your body already knows. That tightness in your chest is not fear of being cruel. It is memory. You will miss them sometimes. That doesn't mean you're failing. Nostalgia is not truth. Memory edits. Your body does not. If thinking of returning makes you feel smaller, heavier, quieter inside, that is your answer. Healing feels calm, even when it hurts. On this channel, The Raw Truth Relationships, I share science-backed ideas to help you understand your worth and build the strong, loving relationships you deserve. Subscribe to the channel and join our community. And please like this video, it really helps me create more. Thanks for watching. This is where dignity is born. Not loudly. Quietly. In moments no one applauds. When you choose yourself without witnesses. When you stop negotiating your worth. When you realize you don't need permission to leave a place where you disappear. You are not cold. You are clear. You are not selfish. You are sovereign. And you are not abandoning anyone. You are returning to yourself after a long absence. That return is sacred. And those who could only love you when you were small will never understand it. If this resonated, you are not alone. Many are walking this same quiet road. Share your story in the comments, even one sentence. Sometimes naming it is the final release. And remember, the past may call you, but you no longer have to answer. On this channel, The Raw Truth Relationships, I share science-backed ideas to help you understand your worth and build the strong, loving relationships you deserve. Subscribe to the channel and join our community. And please like this video, it really helps me create more. Thanks for watching.